All right, guys, so we got a special one here today. This is gonna be one of my favorite, like, entertaining kind of books. And this is gonna be Total Recall by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And this book is like, every once in a while you read a certain book where I literally could not put it down. It was so interesting. Like every single chapter, there was something in there that was insanely interesting. And when I was reading this book, I just couldn't put it down. I literally could not put it down. And I have so many notes for this book. Probably like in my notes, I probably have like 12 to 15 like strong points on this book. But we're only gonna go over the top, like the main three, and I'll kind of branch out to these other ones. Like this video might be long, I'm not sure, because this book is just jam-packed with information. It's basically just a story about his life, about, his come up from his humble beginnings, and like he lived in some small town, and then like his journey through everything, literally everything, like how he got rich, how he became the governor of Los Angeles, I think it was, how he became, the bodybuilding champion like 5-6 times. His life has been absolutely insane. And we're gonna go over some of it here, some of his mindset, some of his, the way he was thinking. And I'll probably get a little bit deeper than what I have written on here, just because I'm so passionate about this book. I read it, I wanna say about 2 years ago. And like I said, I mean, if you want to read this book, you really should. If you're somebody who's very ambitious and has a lot of drive, then I encourage you to read this book. It's very, very long. I think it was like 24 hours long. It's really, really long. But I don't know, it was just so fascinating. Like, it's such a fascinating read. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. All right, so number one. Never dwell on things regardless of how bad they are. Just simply let go and move on, okay? So this one is basically, don't get caught up in like letting things bring you down into like a low vibration energy. Don't, self-pity. Don't feel bad for yourself. Don't like get in a rut for like 3 months. Like something bad happens. Like for example, I'll give you an example, like in the book, he talks about it. Like, let's say like, you have like a bad breakup, or there's some, family issues going on, you can kind of obviously feel bad about those situations, but some people take it to a whole nother level where they just get into this massive rut where it just affects their life moving forward in such a drastic way and for such a long time. So he says, give yourself a day or two, and then just move on. You have to let go at a certain point, and the more you hold on to something like that, it just gets worse and worse. It just spirals out of control. You start thinking about it more, and then like you start thinking about it more, and then you get into this loop, and then like things just get out of control faster than you might want them to. And you got to really learn, this is something I talk about in a lot of videos, is the concept of detaching, right? You can attach and then detach. So it's the concept of letting go and detaching, let's call it, where, you can have a certain intent, you can have a certain attachment to something, like a lower level attachment, but then you can very easily detach from it as well. So you don't see that certain something as part of your identity, or you don't see that certain something as, a part of you. You see yourself as a separate thing, and you can attach and detach, whenever you want. So this is what he's kind of getting at here when he says never dwell, never dwell, never spends too much time just, thinking about something that really just, could be kind of put to bed in like a few days or something like that, okay? Now the number two is like, this is gonna be a very run-on sentence. There's a lot to this number two here. So bear with me, okay? Be outrageous. Don't take no for an answer, okay? I'm gonna stop right here for a second before I read the rest of this one, because this is interesting. Be outrageous. Don't take no for an answer. So what he's trying to convey here is that some people take a no too quickly, where they're just like, oh, it's a no. We won't try anymore. Let's just let it go. Let's just, keep it moving. But don't take no for an answer. So I'm going to tell you a little story actually here. So I was at a business seminar in Dallas, run by a guy named Patrick Bet-David, and at this business seminar we were having there was tiers, there was tiers of tickets, there was 4 tiers of tickets. You don't have to necessarily know the entire backstory behind that, but there was tiers of tickets. Let's say the top level ticket, the second level ticket, the third level ticket, and the fourth level ticket. Let's just call it that. The first and second level sit towards the front, third and fourth level, sit towards the back. And I think I had a second tier ticket, and then a friend that I made there had a third or fourth tier ticket. And I remember the last day of the seminar, there was a dinner. It was at Wolfgang Puck on the top of the hotel. It was this cool little restaurant with views at the top of this hotel, where all the first level tickets and all the second level tickets, they would be there. It would be like a networking kind of thing, whatever it may be. And so this guy, so I was with him before this dinner, and he was just like, I'm gonna go to this dinner. I was like, your ticket, you can't. He's like, dude, you don't understand me. He's like, I don't take no for an answer. And it was a younger guy. And I was like, what do you mean you don't take no for an answer? He's like, I was like, you can't, this is just for the first and second tiers. He's like, what? He's like, I don't take no for an answer. He was really angry, so it was kind of funny. And so what happened was, so I go in, and he's like, dude, when you get up there, he's like, try to talk to somebody for me. He's like, so he was really trying, because obviously, he tried to casually walk in with me, and they said no to him, right? They were like, no, you can't. This is for first, the first tier, second tier, whatever they were called. I'm just, generalizing now. And he was just like, obviously he accepted the no. He's not gonna be like, no, get out of my way. I'm gonna go up, because there's obviously somebody at the door that doesn't even let you get up to the elevator to take it to the restaurant, because the restaurant was closed down for this event. And so he says, okay. So he pulls me aside. He's like, all right, obviously, I'm going up no matter what. But he's like, when you go up there, he's like, just talk to a representative for me and just tell them to come down here and get in touch with me. I was like, dude, I'll do it, but I don't think it's gonna work. He's like, all right, just do it. So I go up and I tell somebody I have a friend down there. He has a third level ticket. He really wants to come up, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, there's nothing we can do about it. I was like, yeah, obviously I thought so. I go down and sit down. So now, I'm eating, I'm at a table with a few other people. And then 20, 30 minutes later, this guy just shows up at the restaurant. I'm like, how the hell did he get here? And he's just he has a smirk on his face, He's like, I told you I wouldn't take no for an answer. But this was after the dinner was already served and stuff. So I guess he made it up because he talked himself into it. He talked to somebody downstairs. He's like, oh, the dinner's already there. I just want to go hang out with some of my friends, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, he found a way to get in. So he didn't take no for an answer. So the point is, when somebody says no to you, unless it's a very firm, rock solid no, get the hell out of here, it's not, you don't have to take that as a no just yet. You can still push a little bit further. Past a very, soft no, let's call it. Because a lot of people, they'll hear the no, oh, okay, no, all right, let's keep it moving. Let's just go do something else. He stayed there, for another 20, 30, 40 minutes, and then re-talk to somebody else, and then talk to somebody else, until somebody was like, all right, head on up there. So that's the point. That's the point for this one. But let's continue on with this run-on little sentence here. So be larger than life. Don't do things. Do things that people think are impossible. Okay, be larger than life. Do things that people think are impossible. I want to stop right here before I continue with this sentence too. There was a guy, I forget his name, a guy I watched on YouTube, and he's a billionaire. And he was saying, like, if you tell your plans and your dreams and your visions to somebody, to your family members, to your cousins, to people around you, and they don't think you're absolutely insane, he says you're thinking too small. And that always stuck with me. Like, so this book, this book is for the real dreamer, for the real visionary, right? This is what it's about. Like in Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was thinking large. He was a big, big thinker, okay? And then so this next little bit of it kind of ties in together. Dream massive and have a compelling vision that you're striving for, okay? Dream massive and have a compelling vision that you're striving for. So you want to have an idea of where you want your life to go. You want to have that in your head. You don't have to tell other people about this. You can write this down, but you want to have it in your head. Like, what is your life going to look like in 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line? Exactly what is it going to look like? And a lot of people ask me for, how can I get motivation? See, if you have like this strong, compelling vision of exactly what you want your life to look like in your mind, you don't really need motivation. You're already like pre-motivated intrinsically. Even days when you're not motivated, this vision in your mind is still kind of in the back of your head, and you have to be striving towards it. Even though you may not feel it all the time, you know that this is where you're going to be and this is where you're going, and you just go there, and nothing can really stop you at that point. You really become an unstoppable force. All right, so let's get to number 3, which is the last point we have here on this incredible book by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Repetition is way more important than people think on your journey of greatness. There are no shortcuts. You are not above the process, okay? So repetition is so key. People sometimes get to a point in business or life where they just think they're completely above the process and they start getting lazy, okay? And Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's one to know that repetition is key, right? Like this guy won, I don't know what it's called. I think it's Mr. Olympia or whatever it is, the bodybuilding, contest like 5 or 6 times, which is the most anybody's ever won it. He won it when he was like 18 years old, something crazy like that. So he knows about repetition. Like he used to go to the gym, and he talked about in this book, he went to the gym and he would go for like 5-6 hours per day, ridiculous amounts, like 5-6 hours per day. Imagine like lifting weights 5-6 hours per day and just burning yourself out. And he said one time a reporter asked him, he says this in the book, one time a reporter asked him, he says, Arnold, the reporter says to him, how is it that you're so enthusiastic at the gym and you're smiling and you're having a good time when everyone else is sour in the face? Like everyone else is like, seems like they're miserable, but you're having it seems like you're just having fun while doing this. And he said to the reporter, he said, every single rep I do, every single set, every single rep I do is getting me closer to my vision of becoming Mr. Olympia and becoming champion, And he said, that's why I'm able to keep that, while I'm working out, is because I have such a strong, compelling vision. These other people, they're just doing it just to do it. He said, I'm doing it with a purpose, right? And that kind of stuck with me a little bit. It's like this thing of like pushing one more, and this is not specifically with the gym. Like this is a very, this equates to life as well. Just doing a little bit more every single day than you have to do or that you need to do. Just do a little bit more. Push yourself a little bit further than you think you can go at everything. This is not just the gym. This is literally everything in life. And I really resonated with this. And I totally agree. Obviously, repetition is, a strong, strong key to success. If you look behind the scenes of very successful people, I've read this in books time and time again. You look behind the scenes of very successful people, and if you spend your time with them throughout the workday, it's gonna seem, a lot of it is gonna seem very, very boring. It's just repetitive stuff done over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Like the behind the scenes of success, for the most part, is pretty damn boring, right? You're just repeating a lot of different things every single day, right? It's a very boring thing. But that's what it takes. That's really what it takes. And then like the rest of your life, when you're not doing these boring behind the scenes kind of things where you're working hard and you're doing the repetition, you can have a very unboring and extravagant life with the rest of it, right? That's the thing. And that's the part that people see, you know, in a lot of successful people. Now, I don't know if he mentions this in this book, but this is something I'm just gonna add on just from YouTube videos and other books that I've read and stuff like that. Like a lot of people see the external things of success. When people get successful, they see the Lambos, they see the Ferraris, they see the nice house, they see the lifestyle, you know, this and that. But what they're not seeing is, you know, the 10 to 12 hours every single day that's put in to create that, to manifest that. So that's something important to keep in mind as well. So work in silence, and then you'll be surprised, you know, to the things that you can accomplish. The compound effect. You know, I reviewed that book, you know, a few weeks back. It's just those little things every single day done over and 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 over again really, really add up. Okay. So if you guys have any, you know, comments or anything you guys want to share with me, you liked the video, you didn't like the video, whatever it is, just post it down in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.